Alright, it's a week or two later here, and the Hummer H2 alternator upgrade's been working out good. Barely drops below 14 volts no matter what I throw at it, no matter what load I turn on. Getting a few questions about my big 3 upgrade here. Pretty simple. I'll put a little pictorial on screen. Some people that might make a little bit more sense. Basically, you're just upgrading the 3 largest charging wires in your charging system. From your battery ground to the body or the frame, from your battery positive to your alternator positive, and then from your alternator or the block ground, the engine ground, to the body. So I just used factory grounding points when I did mine. You can see from the alternator, that lower bolt there, lower left bolt, the mounting bolt, up to the body here. Then the positive, the charge wire, that comes off the back of the alternator. I've got it slinked in around here. You should technically have a fuse on that wire. It's debatable, but there's a lot of OEMs that don't have it. To the positive wire here, and then the negative of the battery to the body right here. So it's debatable. A lot of people go one step farther, do the big 4, and go from the positive of the basically upgrade this wire right here. They go from the positive of the battery to the fuse panel, which is a good idea too. And then from the body to the actual frame of the vehicle. The Astro just has a subframe, and I hope GM just didn't ground anything to that, because if they did, it's probably completely rotted off mine. So as I mentioned before, I already had this wiring all on hand. I would go a little bigger in gauge, a little thicker in wire size, and make sure you're using pure copper wire, not copper clad aluminum, the CCA. This is just my shore power charging wire. I draped out of the way. I normally just tuck that over the battery like this. You might have seen that in another video. So, like I say, battery from the, or negative battery to the body, positive to the alternator, alternator body to the body of the van. Those are the minimum that you'd want to do, in my opinion. I'll include a couple good links for reading in the description. This is a really common upgrade for a lot of car audio folks, but if you're getting a van like this, chances are you're going to put accessories on it, and it's probably a good idea, even for a stock van. Like it says in the one article there, just for optimal gas mileage and even maybe some extra HP sauce. I swear, the van does run better with it. New idler arm is in. It's got the same packaging as last time, but again, we've got both grease fittings drilled, so that's definitely how it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're just dressing the new idler here. You can see the gap in here. It's going to allow that to clamp once the nut's on. Right, we got full PSI. Main frame, yeah, looks good. So we're going to try and lock this bracket here onto the taper. So this nut should go down and become one with this arm. It shouldn't keep spinning like it did in the with that defective idler arm. So let's see if I'm right here. So it's a lock nut. It only goes so far on its own by finger. And then there's a rolled thread in here that's supposed to lock it on, and then it's serrated on the flange as well. You can see there. So there's no reason why this inner joint should keep spinning once that nut gets tightened. So let's see what happens. Yeah, that's not sinking down on the threads. It's not good. What do you do? This has been another fiasco here. In order to get this nut tight, I had to clamp it in the vise here. I had to clamp the lower arm to the bracket, just on the very edge you can see here. I put a cloth in the vise just to kind of keep from marring the finish, but yeah, I could only get it to go maybe like half that thread by hitting it with the impact. And it's tightened up now, it just needs to go maybe just a hair more. So I'll throw the camera on just to show you that. Yeah, I should really set it up so I can hold it. There's nowhere good to put the camera really. So this doesn't go flying out of the vise here, I'll reset it even. So that's tight. You can see how when I move this bracket, am I showing the camera? The entire joint moves with it. That's how it's supposed to be. It still needs to go a little bit more. So I'm going to put the idler arm like this. Get it in the vise just snug like this. Hopefully I can still get my socket on. No. I'm going to adjust just slightly here. I should have never took it out of the vise. Okay, so there we go. That's solid down there. I'm going to hold this side. Make sure we're going the right way with the impact. Probably should have known that was going to happen. Okay, maybe I did get it fully tight. There's not much to show at this point. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I should have kept going. I shouldn't have ran for the camera. It's dead anyways, but clamp that sucker on there. Just try it one more time here. There we go. Watch the socket. That's tight. See how much thread is poking out? Almost 2 threads. And the whole thing moves as one, just like it should. Alright, so I pulled these arms back out just to make sure that this nut was sufficiently tight. You can see how many threads are poking out there. Mark the nut with the paint marker just to make sure that it's not moving. I can quickly glance underneath and just see. Look at the resistance on this new arm. You can see how that stays up and it's kind of tough to move. Look at this arm that's been in for a week. It's loosened up that much. So that goes to show how much wear and tear is on these things. You definitely want to keep up on the greasing. I'll probably try and hit them at least once a month. Yeah, that's no good. But we'll install them, hit all 4 grease fittings that we have now, see what happens. Alright, we're all buttoned up here, looking good. Put the grease gun inside, hit the whole front end while I was in here. Upper and lower ball joints, inner and outer tie rods, center link. Looking good, looking good. Looking good on this side. So we'll keep an eye on them, keep hitting them with the grease.